Why is it all about you? What about me? What about me? I also wanted to wear a pretty kimono and have a coming-of-age ceremony. My name is Hana Todoroki. I'm a college student turning 20 years old this year, which means I'll be an adult and have my coming-of-age ceremony. When it comes to participating in the ceremony, there was one thing that was bothering me about it. More than that, actually, there was something bothering me my whole life. And that was... Hey, why aren't you answering me? Anyway, you're not allowed to wear a proper kimono for your coming-of-age ceremony. Dad and Mom also said that they're not going to pay for it. Do you understand? What's the matter, Hana? As I let out a big sigh, this person who was comforting me was Grandma Atsue. Due to the same reasons, I was currently living at my grandparents' house. Grandma, actually, look at this. I showed my grandma the extremely upsetting conversation on my cell phone screen, and this time, my grandma let out a big sigh. My goodness, isn't you already 25 years old? And she has a child of her own, and yet her parents continue to spoil her, and that's why she turned out like this. She sharply said, "That's right. The person who was sending these extremely tedious and aggressive messages was my older sister. My older sister grew up being completely spoiled by my parents ever since she was little, and as a result, she has an unmatchable, terrible personality. Then, why didn't they spoil me too, the younger sister? I don't have the answer to that either. By the time I realized, I was treated like air by my mother, and my father went along with it. As for my sister, she would have any of her wishes granted, and so she was always treating me horribly. I had reached my limit, mentally and emotionally, and when I went crying to my grandparents, this discrimination between the siblings was discovered, and they were furious. Perhaps my parents were scared of my grandmother, but only in front of the grandparents would they treat me normally, and that was irritating as well. If you stay with that lot, there's no doubt that you'll go down the wrong path. Starting today, you're going to live with us, okay, Hannah?" What? Really? Seriously? That's hilarious. Hey, you! I was so upset that I couldn't stop crying. However, Grandma Atsue was not one to stay quiet. You need to try to imagine just how much pain Hannah has gone through until now. Come on, let's go, Hannah. Behind me, I could hear my sister screaming, and my parents trying to calm her down. But Grandma Atsue was quick to my side. Hannah, you don't need to worry about them. She would always smile when she spoke to me, and from behind her, my grandpa came running. What's the matter, honey?
Nothing. I was just putting a little bit of energy in myself.
I will never forget that day, walking back to my grandparents' house with them, holding my hands. 10 years from that day, I've lived happily with my grandparents. They let me go to high school and to college, and this year I would be turning 20 years old, an adult in Japan. During that time, I barely received any contact from my parents or my sister, but my mother just happened to come across my grandma talking with her friends. Hannah is coming of age this year, isn't she? I can't wait to see her in a beautiful kimono. She must have spoken about that to my sister, and that's what resulted in those messages today. As for the reason why my sister was so against me wearing a kimono... What? You is getting married? What? But she's only 19, isn't she? Apparently, she's pregnant, so she's going to get married. Apparently, her partner is a senior colleague from work and he is willing to take responsibility. Knowing my sister, she probably made a big fuss. The baby that's going to be born did nothing wrong, so all we can do is to wish them the best. That's right, my sister got married at 19 and had her daughter Ururu at the age of 20. As for the husband, perhaps he couldn't stand my sister's personality anymore, but last year they got a divorce. Well, to be honest, I'm shocked that the marriage even lasted 4 years. That means that at the time of my sister's coming-of-age ceremony, she was pregnant, and she wasn't able to participate. According to what I heard from Grandma Atsue, apparently she was crying and whining so much that it was always her dream to wear a kimono for the coming-of-age ceremony, that our mom didn't know what to do and contacted my grandma. That's why this time, I think she can't stand to let me wear a kimono. when she didn't get to, even though I have no intention of wanting to understand how my sister's mind works. But my sister was never satisfied unless I was unhappy. That's why, even if I don't want to, I always end up thinking about the way my sister's mind functioned. I let out a heavy sigh, but Grandma Tsue warmly smiled at me. Come on now, today we are going to look at your day kimono, so hurry up and get ready. Oh yeah, about that. What's the matter? Why won't she reply? I can't believe she's ignoring me. How rude. Hana is coming of age this year, isn't she? I can't wait to see her in a beautiful kimono. I heard this from your grandma, but they said that if she wants to wear a kimono, that they would pay for it. Why are Grandma and Grandpa always spoiling her and her only? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I know. I also think so too. I swear, I'm not going to let her wear a kimono. Absolutely not. I was supposed to be the one to wear a beautiful kimono at my coming-of-age ceremony and be told by everyone that I'm the most beautiful. But because I got pregnant, it all went to nothing. I thought it would be fine if I can still have fun and live my life, but my husband ran away. Anyway, it's all the worst. I'm already irritated, and now she gets to wear a kimono? She's going to wear the kimono that I couldn't wear? There's absolutely no way. I'll never allow it. I know. Hey, Aruru, will you listen to your mommy for a minute? What? Yeah, sure. Listen. Come on, honey. The dressing room where Hannah is getting ready is this way. I think she'll be done getting ready pretty soon.
Well, I can't wait.
Oh, there they are. Grandpa, Grandma. You? What are you doing here? What? I just came here to see my cute little sister's beautiful kimono figure. You can cut it out with that fake voice. Hey, where is Ururu right now? Oh, that's right. I was also looking for her just now. Don't tell me she's gone into the dressing room by herself. Even though this place is very busy today with plenty of people other than Hannah getting ready for the ceremony. Oh! What was that? Hearing a loud shriek from the dressing room, we rushed into the dressing room. When we got there, the entire room was stunned into silence. To our shock, there was brown stains all over the beautiful kimono. What is this? This girl, she suddenly came in. She said that she was waiting for her mom, so I let her sit over there. But then she tripped and spilled juice all over the kimono. Ururu was gripping an empty bottle in her hands. Not only that, but this is coffee. It's what stains the most, and Ururu doesn't even drink coffee. However, Ururu remained silent and wouldn't answer any of us. But I already knew that there was only one person who would think of something this pathetic. And that's because I could hear her giggling from behind me anyway. This kimono, was this one? Now she won't be able to wear a kimono to her coming-of-age ceremony. You, how dare you? What's going on? What's with the commotion? Ha! Hannah, you little loser. Wait. What? What? Why? How? Oh dear, you look so beautiful, darling. Doesn't she, honey?
Yeah, you're the most beautiful in the world. I was shocked at first when you said that you wanted to wear a dress to the traditional coming-of-age ceremony, but it's pretty wonderful.
Right? Why are you wearing a dress right now? Where's your kimono? Huh? I never once said that I was going to wear a kimono. That's a lie. I made sure to find out that you would be getting dressed at 6 o'clock in this dressing room. Wow, that's scary. I mean, you were right that I would be in this dressing room at that time, but I'm in the Classic Lolita Lovers Association at college, and Classic Lolita? Yeah, it refers to Western-influenced princesses and college students who wear mature, classic, and elegant dresses called Lolita fashion. Ever since my friend in college told me about it, I've been completely hooked. And that's why I decided I wanted to go to the coming-of-age ceremony in this dress that I saved up money to buy. That's right, when I was invited by my grandma to go look at the kimonos that day. Come on now, today we're going to look at your day kimono, so hurry up and get ready. Oh yeah, about that. What's the matter? I was actually thinking that I won't wear a kimono. What? But why not? If this is about you, you don't need to pay any mind to her. Oh, this has nothing to do with her. Remember how I told you that I'm in a club on college that researches Western dresses? Ah, you mean the ones like Marie Antoinette, right? Well, the girls in the club and I were thinking about going to the coming-of-age ceremony in those beautiful dresses. It would be the memory of a lifetime. And since I don't really have any opportunities to wear it otherwise, I want to participate with the members like that. Is that okay? Of course that's okay, my dear. You should go in whatever clothes that you want to wear the most, that's all. The only thing is, your grandpa was looking forward to seeing you in a kimono, so can you just take some photos in one for him? Yeah, of course. I was also thinking I want to take photos with you and Grandpa too. So anyway, that's that. But I'm going to go meet up with the girls from the club and head to the ceremony venue. Wait, hold on. Well, then who on earth does this kimono belong to? It's for someone who is getting ready in another room. This is unbelievably expensive. What do we do? I can tell by looking at it. It is quite the fine kimono. It must be in the 10,000s. May I ask which family she belongs to? She's the daughter of the Kosaka family. I see. Well then, you can leave the rest to me. You, Ururu, you two better stay here. Honey, I'm sorry, but can you please go ahead to the venue with Hannah? But Grandma... Don't worry, I promise I'll come running after you. So I was able to meet up with the other club members. The group of us in dresses really stood out, to the point where we were even featured in the local newspaper. I don't know what happened over there after that, but my grandma said it would be fine, so there was nothing for me to worry about. And then, around the time the ceremony was ending, Grandpa and I rushed to look around for Grandma when... Hannah! Grandma! Was everything okay? I was so worried about you. Oh, please, it was nothing. Well, although you will probably be heading straight to hell from here. What Grandma told me next was beyond my wildest imagination. First, my grandma was born to a family that was very famous in our hometown. My grandpa chased after her for years, and in the end, he was taken in by her family. Because of that, my grandma and our last name Todoroki was quite famous. I never thought much about it though, and my friends my age just knew that the last name was famous. That was about it. But in my grandparents' generation of parents' generation, it still carried a lot of weight. And my grandma had quite a lot of influence in many places. Even this time, she quickly contacted a kimono shop that she knew and asked them to pick out their finest kimono for the girl that was the victim to borrow. She said the girl who was the victim and her parents were very happy with it. On the other hand, the kimono that Ururu destroyed was a super high-end item that was a $30,000 piece. Apparently, you threw a tantrum that it was something that a little child did, and there was nothing that she could do about it but... My mommy told me to. She told me to trip. Hey, you, what are you saying? Mommy said that if I hold this coffee and trip in here, that she would take me to the amusement park with her. That's why I... From there, Ururu started crying hysterically. We later found out that my sister wasn't looking after Ururu well at all. She dumped all of the child care onto her husband, but since their divorce was pretty much the same as him running away in the middle of the night, she probably didn't know how to look after Ururu. In that situation, if she heard her mom say that she would take her to the amusement park with her, I can understand why she would do anything for her mom that she loves. I felt so sorry for her that my heart hurt. In the end, my sister was forced to pay back the entire fee for the ruined kimono, as well as the rental fee for the kimono shop. My sister had to take out a loan in order to pay it all. When the ceremony was over and I got back home, I walked into my parents and my sister with their faces swollen red and their knees in the doorway. For my sister, who was living off of only her ex-husband's child support fees, there was no way she could pay that amount of money back. And of course, she went crying to her parents. My parents tried to beg my grandma to help her cute granddaughter, but... This is what you get for spoiling her all these years. When it comes to this, you're both just as guilty, and I won't be showing you any mercy anymore. She was livid and had snapped. First, Grandma sold the house, including the land that she was lending to my parents. With that money, she fronted the loan payment and paid it off for them first, and then demanded my parents and my sister to return the loan directly to her. Are you kidding me? Why should I have to pay my own grandma any money? This is seriously the worst. And you sold our house without telling us. What are we supposed to do now? My sister tried to get out of the conversation like this, but Grandpa stopped her. Hey, Grandpa, what are you doing? My grandpa was a former policeman, and even in his 70s was in great shape. Normally, he's very kind and mild-mannered, but perhaps he was pretty angry at this time because the aura around him was flaming red.
I've always looked at your actions and thought of them as unacceptable, but the reason why my daughter and my granddaughter have become this foolish was also because of our lack of supervision. That's why we simply took Hannah in and just observed you lot as a family and kept an eye on you.
Grandpa.
But that ends today. Listen up, you're all going to work at my relative's place from now on, and until you finish paying back your debt, you're going to take a good hard look at your life and regret what you've done.
I don't want to. And you know I have a Ruru. I'm busy raising a child, so let me go, okay? I can't believe she would use her child as an excuse. I had held my tongue long enough, and I felt like I needed to say something to my sister or I wouldn't be able to sleep that night. So I stood up, but then, before I could, Grandma got up first and said, "How dare you say that when you had dumped all the responsibilities of raising your child onto your husband until now? I've already been in contact with your ex-husband, and he says that he will gladly take Ruru in. He ran away because he couldn't stand to talk to you, but it seems that he has been thinking about Ruru constantly. Ruru, wouldn't you be happier to live with your dad?" Yeah, I want to go back home to Daddy. You can go to your daddy's place from today, okay? Yeah, okay. Oh, speaking of the devil. I completely thought that my sister's ex-husband had arrived to pick up Ruru. Apparently, everyone else thought the same, and my sister was about to try to switch into a strategy of crying to her ex-husband, but... Koki, I'm so glad you're here for me. Save me, please. And she began the most shameful crying act. However, the person who appeared in front of us was... Who the hell are you all? Standing in front of my sister's eyes were some very intimidating macho old men. These are the people who will be looking after you in the workplace starting today, and you're going to think about what you've done. Well then, boys, go ahead and take them away, please. No, I don't want to. Mom, Dad, help me do something. Hey! My parents must have known that there was nothing they could do to win against my grandma, but they just sat there stunned, as if their souls had left their body. And so the macho old men grabbed my parents and my sister and stuffed them into the van. I'll send the bare minimum change of clothes and whatever other minimum necessities later. She waved as she sent them off. Grandma, who were those people? Well, I guess you could say that they're from a place where hopeless people go. For how much trouble they've caused this family, they can work a little, can't they? So they look after people like that and make them work, and make sure that they pay back money to their families. This workplace that Grandma was talking about was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but fields, and it was a 4-hour drive from the nearest train station. They don't even have buses that go there. There, they cultivated the fields, looked after the livestock, and were worked from morning until night. They were only given the bare minimum money necessary, and the rest would be paid back to wherever their debt came from, or back to their families that they wronged. For me, ever since my grandparents took me in 10 years ago, my feelings towards my parents and sister as my family were little to none. And I wasn't sad, nor did I feel sorry for them at all. Apparently, my parents are fighting every day now, blaming each other for what happened. And my sister is stuck in a place without one single enjoyment and spending her days just working. Thank you, macho old men. Once I get your address from Grandpa, I promise to send you a thank you gift. For the record, Ruru was taken in by her father after that. She shouldn't be forgiven for spilling coffee even though her mother told her to. But she was only 5 years old and still starving for her parents' affection. The more I think about it, that girl is also a victim of my sister. Now, I just pray that everyone who has suffered due to my sister can live the rest of their lives happily.